was not going to come from outside to save them. If a community cannot get riled by the fact that people from outside are coming to criminalize and then sexually abuse their minors, then there is a problem. And we cannot all be waiting for a messiah to come and shoot the people doing this if we cannot deal with it. Now, those people have been routed, and we now have a scheme to try and rescue as many of those children as possible, audit the problem, and see what health challenges and developmental challenges emerge from that. I mean, I've got to say that on this issue, at least I do get quality time with the governor and I present the issues. So part of the thing was a lot of people were being disappeared, were not being accounted for. And so we created a Bureau of Missing Persons. People started laughing at it. And right now we are beginning to document the missing. It is the first model in Nigeria of the missing being documented and being traced. And we have recovered quite a few people and are beginning to account for a few people. And we are accounting for, in terms of the dead, some of them are not dead. They are just trafficked. So we're establishing contact with NAPTIP and beginning to ensure capacities, and with the International Commission of Missing Persons in The Hague, which was established following the Balkan crisis in the 1990s. That is taking place in Anambra State very quietly, outside the razzmatazz of what people see or hear. And now we're beginning to establish collaboration with the federal government, who are thinking, well, actually, this kind of thing we can begin to sell to other states. Government has to have a responsibility to account for every one of its people, dead or alive. The cult problem, when I say cause or consequence, what is the issue? The underlying problem in Anambra State is land. The biggest single problem in Anambra is what? Land. Egoani. Around Egoani, every other thing arises. It is no accident. Now, what is Egoani? Egoani is, for want of a better, for Yoruba say, it's close to Omonile. The money that people collect from land. And Lagos State is the smallest state in Nigeria. Lagos is now about, because of land reclamation and all of that, Lagos is about 3,800 square kilometers. It's actually just under it's about 3,778 square kilometers. Anambra State is the second smallest state at 4,818 square kilometers. But Lagos is gaining land through reclamation. Anambra is losing land through erosion and ecological disasters. So if you go to a place like Nanka, which is the Orumba North, in the southern bit of Anambra, southern senatorial zone, Nanka has lost a lot of land, and a lot of Nanka people are internally displaced into neighboring communities. If you go to Oko, for instance, you see them. Ajali, you see them, right? Now, because land is, if you look at the pattern of killings in Anambra State, I've mentioned here, Obosi, number 1. Oka, number 2. What is common between, and Ojinaka, you've also confirmed this. What is common between these? Those are the two places with the biggest land crisis. The driver of the cult crisis in both places is Egoani. You cannot put one slab of cement on your broken soakaway pit without paying Egoani. If you try it, you get murdered, you get killed, you get assaulted. The youth wing, they call them, will destroy you. In that youth wing, you have the commanders of the cult system. And so, this is where people will not understand why. That's why I say we have to reason our way through this. So, as part of our recommendations, reform of land administration is central. So, in July this year, the Commissioner for Land, the Ministry of Lands, about June, July, will be launching a major reform of land administration in Anambra State. You cannot address the cult problem, nor can you address the community When you live in a dignified environment and somebody tells you elevate, you take that seriously. But if you don't live in a dignified environment, you live in trash, and you are in poto every day, everybody around you will be poto. So this is there's a lot of impatience, and I totally share it because I was impatient. But in trying to walk through this, what is clear is that there are structural issues we've got to address. The fundamental biggest issue in Anambra, I could go on about this, in relation to insecurity, that was the biggest discovery I made, was land administration. Without breaking the back of land administration, you will not sort out the cult problem. But at the moment, there is a management mechanism, a mitigation mechanism in operations and law. Those have been put in place, but the underlying issue is land administration. Let me yield.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. Before I pass the mic to Hilary, Son, please, I will come back to you. I'm not sure if it's the lady or not, but I will come back to you. Prof, I heard you, and I heard the commissioner, Dr. Afam Obidike, respond. But you thought on something. You talked about land. It would appear that land is the issue here, that is making things difficult in terms of the cultism and every other thing. And you mentioned erosion. And my question to let me throw that question to the commissioner: what plans is the government providing? What are the plans to eradicate erosion? If erosion is the problem, what plans do you guys have? Because the problem here is this. It would appear that the governor is coming up with this, but it's been 3 years. The insecurity in Anambra State has been going on for the past 3 years. So a lot of people are feeling that, okay, the reason the governor is doing this thing is because he wants to be reelected, right? So, Dr. Afam, if you want to respond to this, and why did it take you guys 3 years before you started responding to this? And secondly, what are the plans? What plans do you have to eradicate this issue of erosion that Prof mentioned?
Thank you so much. As I said, it's actually on record, and I would like you independently to assess a year after the administration of Professor Charles Soludo, CFR, on insecurity. You should please just, I could actually share the data with you. I did that research, and that's why I could tell you that the gunshot injured actually after 1 year of assuming office, we could know, if we know how Anambra State was during the election of the governor. But after that, we tackled the insecurity head on. And security issues, I may not talk more about, but we know how dynamic insecurity is. Even in the greatest of the states, United States of America, sometimes you could see some of those activities of these guys happening. But the issue is that nobody waited for so long. We tackled it, and we started tackling, and it reduced. Later on, there was insurgents about it again. And as Prof said, there's a lot of fundamental things when they did during the Justice and Peace Commission, the Truth, Justice, Peace Commission. They have a lot of things they did. I must commend the Prof on that, Chede or the canon. Now, we now say, okay, let's handle this thing very, very fundamental. That's why we started the law. We started the formation of the sort of state police equivalent, but not really with Dogacha and the Agone Chamber and all that. But fundamentally, that is a wrong notion. We didn't stop. We were doing something. The first aspect we did kinetic, because when there is kinetic and non-kinetic approach. While we use kinetic approach, it reduces normally the 10 rules again, and we now use a comprehensive aspect to tackle this security, which is, the last time I spoke, I said in the last 1 month, please, we want to have a data and the experience of people that we now say in Anambra State that this happened, and the comparative to what have happened in every aspect of the state, every aspect of the states in Nigeria. So nobody kept quiet. It we kept on working and all that. Now, you mentioned the second one on the erosion. The issue of erosion, Prof mentioned something that is very fantastic. And when he was speaking, I said, actually, this is actually our governor speaking. Because whereas Lagos State is getting more lands, being the smallest, followed by Anambra State. Anambra State is losing more land, losing a lot of lands via erosion. I'm sure if you could have chance to come and walk around and see a lot of things on erosion. And erosion control is a it's a multifactorial, and many people have role to play. Myself, we have a role to play in this erosion aspect. We have been the Commissioner of Environment has been doing a lot in terms of sensitizing people that when you finish building that house in your house, where did you think about the, I'm sure if you hear the governor talking about the water correction aspect, with the water that is exiting your house, where is it going and all that? Then the drainage system, because as a matter of fact, the soil texture in Anambra State make it for us to be prone to erosion. In fact, we talk about erosion. We even talk about what's this when there is this EG that happen in Anambra State not frequently like every other state that happen. Anambra State is one of the biggest states that we always have this flooding. Last 2 years flooding, e.g., some of us that are from Anambra East here and Anambra North, I mean, we'll be able to know. We have almost seven of our local governments that was so submerged. 7 of our local governments was submerged with this flooding, which is also environmental issues. So we are having a comprehensive things in this erosion thing. 1, education. 2, ensuring that we are actually having our people to be sensitized on those things, because in fact, if I tell you the amount, millions, if not billions, the governor is doing now, we are doing to control erosion in Anambra State, it is so massive that even when we use all the whole money we are having in Anambra State per month, IGR, we will never be able to control the erosion that is happening in Anambra State. But we realize that we need to have people in form of education, in form of doing the ones we could do to have the water channels appropriately, and also sensitize people on the need for them to partake in this, because this is a challenge we have seen ourselves in the state, and we are working closely on this. So we have to actually, as I said, it's a multi-taxing, multi-factorial issues, and it needs a multi-sectoral approach to that. And we're actually doing that. So in nutshell, in insecurity, the governor have never for one day kept quiet. From the day he assumed office, there was a threat to even we actually used to only when I said I forget nature's on calling. When the governor assumed office, there was even a threat that his government house would be invaded by insecurity. But he stood head on and fought those insecurity. Then just that the dynamic nature of it came, and we now have had a very comprehensive way to fight the insecurity, and we can all testify by people that are living in Anambra State of the changes that have occurred within the past 2 months. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much for
again, mindset. Please let me come in here, because this is actually an educational opportunity for us to understand a few things, at least for people to mutually enlighten one another on how government runs. When we started, as part of our work, I asked for data from the ANSEPA, the Anambra State Environmental Protection Agency, and then the State SEMA, the State Emergency Management Agency, on internal displacement. Now, in Nigeria, why was that necessary? Anambra North, and Anambra State actually is a water-bound state in many ways. Many people think Lagos is water-bound. Anambra State has 3 river systems. It is in the lower River Niger system. The lower River Niger system, starting from Baru in Niger State, down to the creeks in the delta, is suffering a problem, which is sedimentation, and the sedimentation is leading to overflowing during the rainy season. Greater instances now of inundation. And Anambra State, Onitsha, is at the heart of that. And from Onitsha, you go to the communities in Anambra North, Anyamelum to Obaru, to all of them. All of those are water level, right? Second, the Idemili River system, which is a tributary of the River Niger system. The third, the Ras River system. All of these are connected with one another. And so one river overflows, it goes into the next and goes into the next, and you have an inundation crisis. Then the soil texture then follows. And between the river overflow, inundation problem and soil texture problem, there is a crisis. What is the issue? Number one, contractors have been working guttering money. So just basically ensuring that you build roads with proper drainage and channeling helps a lot. That is now being policed. So when you go to any of the constructions being done in Anambra now, what you would see is what? Because this is not rocket science. It's just basic things. All these Abalanze thieves that are going around oppressing people are part of the problem. And you've got to deal with it. And when you're dealing with it, what is it? They're uncomfortable. And you've got to make them uncomfortable. But that is for the politicians to figure out. I'm just telling you what I have seen in being involved in this thing, because I spent time tracing this thing, trekking through most of the communities of Anambra State. So build roads with drainage and enforce that properly. Number two, dealing with urban renewal, and I've spoken about that. But there is an equity problem in Nigeria. So after getting the information on internal displacement, what is clear? The states of Southeast Nigeria don't report internal displacement. Why? Because our family system is very capacious. If you're displaced in one community, you're married from another one, you have in-laws there, you haven't been no there, you go and relocate. Okay? But we don't have urban or informal displacement centers for the most part, with a few exceptions in parts of Anambra North bordering Kogi State. And so what that meant was that a lot of these people were not getting attention. And because they were not getting attention, they were creating problems, which were basically increasing the problem of inundation. So why was that so? Most of the money, now, in Nigeria, 2% of the Federation account is allocated to what? Ecological fund. Almost every element in the ecological fund is nothing gets to the Southeast. Part of what we've dealt with in our report is that the Anambra State government has got to leverage ecological funds properly. You start that by doing what? By making sure you enumerate your ecological problems.
Sorry, is Prof still with us? It would appear that I'm not able to hear him. Can anybody hear him?
No, I can't hear him either. He's like
okay.
But
all right. So thank you guys for helping out. Prof T. Dodinkanu, if you can hear me, please, we are not able to hear you. It appears that you're having a network connection problem. But let me quickly, as we are waiting for him to reconnect, let me quickly pass the mic to Hilary. Hilary, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Manstead, and thank you, Commissioner Prof. I want to ask a few questions because I think there are some things that's been coming up from Anambra State that is a bit worrying to me as a person. When Charles Soludo came out to become the governor of Anambra State, I was very excited. You know, I had my hopes were very high with respect to the fact that he's both economically and academically exposed. So I wasn't expecting him to be the best among equals, but I was rather expecting him to go a pace, you know, to be the pacemaker, to show us things in governance that a lot of the people we've had never, you know, thought about doing. Um, but whatever it is right now, I don't know. I wouldn't say that he's lived up to the expectation. Maybe that's my personal opinion of him, you know, based on the position that he has previously handed in the government and outside government or whatever. Now, the few questions I have a lot of questions, but I think I will pick the ones that I think are very important right now. One is you talked about Anambra State being the safest state in Nigeria. I think Enugu State is actually the safest state in Nigeria in the last 1 month. And with respect to the security architecture that Anambra State has put in forth, to what extent is technology involved in what the security architecture that Anambra State has put in place? We did see the governor of Enugu State, you know, put up some things, you know, to help with security, and I think to a great extent, that is paying off. Introducing some level of technology in the Enugu State security architecture. Now, the second question I have to ask is, we have seen the vigilante group. I don't know, maybe they are the ones you're referring as the Homeland Security or something. that is operating in Anambra State. And there are a few videos that we have seen that I've personally seen. I've seen a video of them collecting money, like the usual Nigeria police will collect money from motorists. I've seen a video of them, carrying out certain activities that somewhat to an extent look to me that those things were not, really. I've seen videos of people accusing them of shooting innocent people. I've seen videos of people accusing them of, you know, um, carrying themselves in some uncoordinated ways or manners. So my second question is it, this vigilante group, did they receive any form of formal education with respect to law and order in the society? Do you have a system to hold them accountable, both from the citizens' part of things and the government? In other words, do you have a system that the citizens of Anambra State can report to say, this is the way that these people have handled themselves, and this is not according to the law? Is there any form of education to create a sort of PR between those people and the citizen? When the citizens of Anambra State see those people, are they terrified, or do they see these people as friendly, as people who had come to help them? Um, then, with respect to erosion, I did understand that Prof talked about ecological form not coming across, not coming to us. But I would expect, you said yes, we've done a lot of things with respect to erosion. I would expect that there are things as basic as reforestation happening, educating the people in the community to start planting trees and all of some of those things in order to hold back some of the extent of the erosion, even though, because I would think that some of those things are the things that we can do, that every other community can do, if communities are, giving the basic instructions to say each community will want 10,000 or want 500 trees per community every year or every this thing, and maintain. Have we done some of those basic things? Because from what you said in handling erosion, it does look like, I couldn't pick up anything tangible, but I would like to hear things like tangibility, like these are the details, these are the things we've done, because we do understand to the extent, when it has to do with erosion, it looks like the Southeast is sitting on a time bomb, but we do not seem to pay attention. It does come to me, I come across like when people will say there is fire on the mountains and nobody's are running. So when it comes to erosion in the Southeast, so please, a few of those questions I've asked, what level of technology, who holds accountable what these vigilante people are doing? Because what I'm afraid of is we do not want to bring back the days of the Bakassi boys. We need a vigilante, but this is 20 years or more than 20 years after the Bakassi boys operated. If we're doing any vigilante or homeland security, I think we should have some measures to say that we have learned a lot of things from the good and the bad of the Bakassi boys. And we should not try, I don't think we should try to introduce anything to the society that will replicate that phase of thing we had in the olden days when we didn't know better. So who holds accountable? What are the tangible things that have been done with respect to the ecological system, the erosions that we're facing in Southeast Nigeria, in Anambra State? Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
thank you so much. I'm sure Hilary, right? Thank you so much. Wonderful submission. I'm sure if you come to Anambra now, you'll be happy of the activities of His Excellency. I'm sure you can get call across, and they will tell you testimony. I will start by the last question. You talk about the actions during for this erosion. Actually, when I talked about the education and all that, we just even did not start from there. We got a law. We reviewed our law on environmental law in the state, and this law covers this aspect. Then, second, also the Minister of Environment distributed trees last year, which the wife of the governor flagged off. Those are the ecological and economic trees that could serve by dual purpose. Then, second, also, anytime you see the governor speaking about, I spoke about because I mentioned about education, environmental education and all that, just general, because I believe there's no time we could actually understand what I mean by that, and some of those processes we have done. when we also discuss about when the rain is falling in the compound, when you finish building the house, you are having everywhere to be cemented and all that. What's the water that is running off from your compound? Where is it heading to? These are the things we have been able to educate our people in the state, tree planting and all that, and also ensuring that waste are properly were disposed. The erosion in Anambra State is actually, in fact, when we discuss about the road construction, now we are having a governor that is deliberate in controlling this erosion, because every road we are constructing in Anambra State, we have a place we are terminating the water. This actually costs more money than the road itself. These are the things you can come and verify. So that's there's a comprehensive package, and as you know, these we are just trying to help to prevent this from occurring, while we're able to know how we can reclaim the already the ones happening, while we're also preventing. So it's become, in fact, we have even gone to the level of developing this as education in the secondary school, where we will start from the schools educating our children about these behavioral changes that we're able to curb this. So it's a very holistic thing we are doing, and as I said, it's a continuous process. Then in the area of technology, in Anambra State, the mantra is everything technology, technology, everything. That's everywhere technology. Fiber optics are being laid across the whole state now. Almost thousands have been laid across the whole Anambra State in order to improve to increase connectivity to last mile. But in this technology, we cannot talk about everything about what we are using in insecurity here. I would assure you that even when you kidnap somebody in Anambra State, just dial a number 55111. Get a report to that. Get the number that kidnapped the person. In just some minutes, the person that kidnapped the person and all that, where they are will be traced down immediately. And this is what we have been used for successes we have recorded. We have those things. Security is not something you come and also mention all your means, but those tracking and also using security, even the vehicles of Agone Chamber, they mounted their CCTV and the car tracking there. So technology cannot it cannot develop insecurity, education, health, every aspect of the human being without having technology. So that is much involved. As a matter of fact, I will tell you the administration of Prophet Charles Soludo established ICT agency in the state that is comprehensively handling some of those issues. Then the issue of I must apologize on behalf of those guys. You know, you can't have everybody behave the way you want. But with time, are we making progress? Yes. Are we where we ought to be? No. That is why we have checks and balances. That's why we have a reporting system. Assignment given unsupervised is as good as not given. Now, if you're in Nigeria, you can ask anybody in Nigeria to call 5311 5111. When they call this number, if you have any report of all those things, you just call the number immediately. You are hitting the head office to report any misgiven and any activities that is not what ought to be with these people, and they will be taken care of. So now they have already known that we are having these are also human beings too. They are not God, and so we are aware of this, and we are checkmating things in order to moderate their attitude in terms of education of those security. Yeah. They were profiled. Education is not a one-off thing in terms of security. It's education and training and retraining continues to happen. And we are hoping together we all build Anambra State of our dream. But as I'm today, I want us to have this in disproof that in the past so months, who have actually had this insecurity in Anambra State, how has it been between December, January, February, March? I want somebody that will give. You can make calls to your people down home here to give you sincere this into that. Meaning that we are heading to where it is. It is very happy. We are very happy about it. We're having to report in most of the local government that even per second we'll be hearing kidnapping to have crime-free this thing, because there is also a bonus on the security. I also want to thank the Commissioner of Police, Anambra State, the newly posted Commissioner of Police. He has actually been doing so well. If you are working in Anambra State distance, you can feel the presence of security, and the governor has invested not only in this in vehicles, armored cars, and all that, and we are all seeing the result. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much for your response. Before I pass the mic to the other speaker, please, if you're requesting for the mic, unfortunately, I'm not able. I can see 7, 8 requests. Right? Please, if you can kindly follow the co-hosts or myself, and then that would help to bring you up as a speaker. Then hopefully, if you're not happy with what we are doing, you can unfollow after the conversation. But that would give you an opportunity to be part of the conversation. Sorry, Dr. Afam, you said that you apologized to the activities of the Agbine Chamber people. That's not enough, sir. Because it's one thing for you to apologize, based on the behavior of these individuals. That's not enough. As we are speaking tonight, perhaps tomorrow, people can, there might be somebody who will lose their life. That's not enough. I think the government that you work for or you're working with should do better than that. Apology is one thing, but going further to sanitize these guys is very, very important, because the last speaker, Mr. Hillary, asked a very important question. We have had the issue of vigilantes turning into something else, right? He made mention of Obakasi boys, and this might look like a good thing, but the government of Dr. Chukuma Soludo should do their due diligence to make sure that these guys are sanitized. So apology is one thing, but what are you guys going to do moving forward to make sure that the people you put out there to secure the lives of and properties of the people of Anambra State are the right people? Apologizing is one thing. What are you guys? You're not giving me anything to say. Oh, from tomorrow we are going to take these guys. We are going to start to sanitize, and we are going to do this thing. You're saying apology. What are you going to do about it, sir?
Okay, I withdraw my apology. I withdraw my apology. What I'm saying is this: normally, when people feel hurt, you must start by apologizing. Whether what the person is saying is verifiable or not, you must. That's my civic responsibility to do that. Then, secondly, this incident we complain about happened. The picture, the video, also that you saw that circulated like 3 weeks ago, or if I'm not mistaken. And also, the person that is involved in this said no, it is not true, because we have a platform where, if you know the governor, Professor Chukuma Soludo, you know that is a man that is a no-nonsense man. So those issues I know more have been taken care of. You could see this as a lot of change, but as I said, we are all human beings, brother, fresh and broad. But that is one of the things I said, that if you assignment given unsupervised, it is as good as not given. I went again to say, please, if you know of this, you have a place you could report directly to the boss. They will hear it 5311. Then again, I say that these people are involving in training and retraining, even medical doctors. When you become a doctor, if you don't, there's a time we do what we call continuous medical education. That is a form of training and retraining. Then so we're putting everything in check to ensure that they also know that being monitored, and somebody that is monitoring them know that they are being monitored. Truthfully, these incidences reported was discussed, and the person in charge of it made some inquiries, and some were not the way it was. So that's what I'm saying. But so for the fact that this has been discussed in the highest level, and the things have been put in place, it's enough confidence to the people and to the people of Anambra State that we are totally in control, and we are doing what we ought to do. As I said, there is no perfect system in the world. Some of you that we are just doing up. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to say is apologizing is not enough, but thank you for apologizing. So you shouldn't have taken it back. Prof, I can hear from your voice, it would appear you want to respond. If not, I will quickly pass the mic to the next speaker. Should I go ahead? Okay.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much.
Just one thing, by the way. There was the point about what is being done. I don't know whether for those who are in Anambra State here, there's been a vigorous campaign of tree planting, basic regreening of the state. It started with the deployment of 2 million seedlings of coconut and some other and palm. That was what, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. followed last year by another 1.5 million, and I think there's another 1.5 million or thereabouts. Mr. Commissioner, you probably have the fuller details of this, but the government of the state is spending quite a significant chunk of resources on the deployment of trees, just tree planting. And I don't know whether the commissioner wants to say anything about that, because that's also part of the strategy on this issue of erosion. I mean, in my own university in Ibaria, which is very exposed to ecological situation, certainly winds, where with the help of the state government, we're deploying 100,000 trees, for instance, seedlings. Many other people would know about this. Mr. Commissioner.
Yes, Prof. I actually have said it before, but I just want to commend you too, because university last year actually did the trees planting, which I think it was a very big occasion. We commended that. I've said about the tree planting vigorous campaign being done, that the wife of the governor actually flagged it off last year at Immigration Junction about the tree planting in the state on that. So I've actually said about, but I didn't talk more about the economic tree, the coconut and the palm trees were distributed, because that is another area I want to talk, because it seems we are dwelling more on insecurity without not talking much about the governor's administration has been able to lift people out of poverty in the state and all that. So I'm still believing that when we come there, we'll actually discuss extensively on the actions of Professor Soludo on lifting people out of poverty in the state, and that which has produced significant results to the people of Anambra State and people beyond. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. I just wanted the House to know we started a little bit late, so we are not going to finish at 10 o'clock. We'll probably finish at 20 minutes past 10. So because we started late, it will be fair to us and to our guests tonight to be able to make sure they have exactly 2 hours as we promised. But thank you very much, sir. Mr. Chimezrim, please go ahead, your question or your contribution, sir.
All right, good evening all. Prof, I'm very privileged to be in this space today. I thank you for your presence. I greet the commission, honorable commissioner, and my own. Can you hear me, please? Talking about cultism in Anambra State. And he said that factors that cultism in Anambra State was administration. And I know how he got that idea, or the study he did him believe that land causes cultism. But I want to differ with, in the sense that I have been involved in politics for a while. I've worked with many politicians when it comes to during campaign seasons, and I comfortably tell you for free that our politicians are the ones that fund all these courts that disturb us in the society. During the election period, everybody wants to win in the election, and they go all out. Anybody that can grab the what do you call it? The ballot box. Anybody that can do as much, that can inflict atmosphere in the opponent, in order for them to win the election. They empower them, they give them the money, they give them the arms. And what we see today is that when the governor wins the election, he turns a blind eye to whatever it is that the
sorry, I do apologize, Mr.
group is doing.
Mr. Chimezrim, can you hear me, please? I'm not sure if it's from my end, but I can hardly hear you. It appears that you.
But I believe that if we want to.
Yeah, the transmission is tough.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah, I wasn't able to hear him, so I think we'll continue with the conversation, because one of the things about coming on Spaces to speak, I don't want someone to misquote him tomorrow, right? So if you are not in a much better place, if you're not in a conducive place to speak, please find a much better place to speak and make sure that your network works properly. This space is recorded, so I just don't want someone to misquote you. We will continue the conversation, but let me quickly, before I pass the mic to Mr. Hillary, who's raising his hand. Please, any other person requesting for the mic, kindly follow my. Sorry, who might that be?
Mindset, please, because he does make a point. At least the bit I heard, he's saying that it is not true that land. He disagrees. Let me not say it's not true, because he said he disagrees that the issue with cultism, the underlying issue is land. He believes it is politics. Politicians arm these boys and use them to win elections, essentially. That's the point he was developing. There isn't actually much of a distinction between what he's saying and what I've said. You see, we don't do elections every day of the 4-year cycle. Elections come every 4 years. That's number one. And so the violence of elections is seasonal. The thing that sustains the boys who are available for politicians to use during elections is land. Anyone, and I repeat myself, now unlike Deben 2018, I am not a politician. I have not done politics in my life. So I will not speak as a politician, but I will speak as I have spent time on the insecurity in the Southeast over the past 3 years, more than most people ever would. And no, I didn't do it by Zoom. I did most of it on the back of Okada, inside keke, and on foot with slippers and short knicker. In place down with you, and I'm interested in discussing it. And there are elements I will not be able to discuss, obviously, here. But when you get to Egoani, you will know that it is enforced with violence. And it is not occasional violence. There were at least 2 cases in which, in Egoani situations, the leaders of community youth wings were clobbered to death, as in they used hand and killed them. When they finished killing them, they went to their families and said, bring us somebody else who will account to us properly for our money. These people were gone. Okay? Now, in Anambra State, do you know the number of PGs who have been killed in the past 2-3 years? Town Union President Generals. Do you know why? Now, do you know the communities in which they have been killed? Do you think it was because of APC and PDP? No. Go and do your homework. Maybe because you've been spending too much time, cavorting with politicians. You should actually honestly go and sit down and understand the politics of Egoani and how Egoani is central to the recruitment and maintenance of, by the way, the cults that you're talking about are the youth wings of communities. And in every community, you have Vikings, you have Eye, you have every one of them. Then you have the women's cults, the girls' cults. And all of them are fighting. Today, Vikings will kill one Eye person, inter-cult war will start. How do they finance themselves? It is land and drugs in every one of the communities, bar none. And unless we address those issues, we will not get to the heart of the matter. There are other parts of the state that present other issues. So the waterbound parts of the state in Anambra North, Obaru, Ogwaniocha, Ogwipele, those ones are more aligned to the pathologies in the Niger Delta because those ones are resource related. They are hydrocarbons rustling related. That we can deal with separately. But I want to be clear. If you're dealing with Idemili North, Idemili South, Nnewi North, Nnewi South, so Idemili North, Idemili South, Onitsha North and South, Awka North and South, cultism has an explanation to it. These are the most lucrative parts of the state. Land economy here competes with anywhere in Nigeria and better. It is Egwani.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. I think Mr. Chimezumi is back. Please go ahead with your submission, then I can pass the mic to Hillary. You're raising your hand, sir. Mr. Chimezumi, you're back. Okay, he's not responding. I think he might have some issue with his network. But let me quickly read out some of the questions that have been sent to my DM for the commissioner to respond to. The first question is it the job of the community to buy guns and chase the criminal? Sorry, somebody.
It's like
no.
Sorry, I apologize. Let me quickly read the message. The message for the commissioner to respond to. This one is it the job of the community to buy guns and chase the criminals, or the job of the government? And the second question is why has the government abandoned the people of Osumogo in particular and the people of Ihiala in general to criminals instead of doing the job he was elected to do as the chief security officer of the state? Mr. Commissioner, do you want to respond to those questions, or you want me to read them out again?
Just okay. If you can finish reading most of the questions, we can take them. Oh, if you says are you okay? Is it the last question, the one on the chart? Because almost going on, so that we'll be able to tackle most of the questions.
No. I mean, okay. If you can respond to these two, then perhaps.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. We all know the first question: whether it's the job of the community to purchase this thing or the government. Definitely. There's the system of government in the states. We have a local government and the state government role, and I will assure you that there's nothing bad in community wanting to participate in securing their community, but the governments have never left it totally or even completely depend on the community to do that. No, never. The government is taking that responsibility, and we have been doing that, and God's willing, we are seeing the results of that. So, but if a community say, okay, we want to assist, because we all know that 97% of resources are in the private sector, even if not more than that. But the remaining just 2% or 3% the government has will not be enough to solve all the problem. So, as security is primary responsibility of the government, we are tackling it head on. But some communities, I've seen some communities saying that buying vehicles to support security system in their ward, in their local, in their town and the villages. That is a very welcome idea, because it's one of the things corporate, where it's a model we're doing in Anambra State, PPPC model, public-private community partnership. But in terms of the security, we are doing it totally. But any community that want to assist, no, you can't tell nobody. You can't tell people not to participate in what they want to do. Then talking about abandoning the people of Ihiara, as I said before, because when you want to attract success or progress, you totally actually do it yesterday. What is it like today? What is it? So that it will be measurable. If you cannot measure it, you can never actually improve it. I can tell you confidently and comfortably that in the last 2 months, the last 1 month, I've been to Ihiala, or 2 months, I've been to Ihiala more than 3 times or 4 times. I've been there. This praise that even the governor, with all the securities apparatus available to him during the campaign period, could not have even gone there to do that. And these are verifiable. You could actually go to those facilities, health facilities there, and assess what is the issues, security and all that. We accept ending last year, there was a lot of issues, but now it has improved, and the state government have never abandoned people of the beloved people of Ihiala. We work very well with them, and we'll continue to work well with the people of Ihiala as is. In fact, as a matter of fact, this week we are going to Ihiala, and it's on a very big note, we are going to Ihiala. So nobody abandoned people of Ihiala. That is not fair to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if it was you that said it or Prof. Chidol in Canada said it. He talked about the boundary between Kogi and Anambra State. There are a lot of people, people of Anambra State, that have boundary with Kogi State, and it would appear that they are neither being accepted in Kogi, and neither are they being looked after by the good people of Anambra State. What? Sorry, somebody's mic is on. Who might that be? Okay. So let me repeat myself again. So there are Anambarians who, based on the way the government of Nigeria decided to divide them, and they found themselves between Kogi State and Anambra State, and it would appear that they are not being carried along. What is the governor going to do to carry those people along, Mr. Commissioner?
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, those we are talking about people in Anambra North, Anambra East and West, as is. It may interest to know if I'm just the geography, but I know that those is Anambra, majorly Anambra West, and the Anambra East, as is. If you are going to Ayamelum, as is, there's even a road there. I've been to that area. I was there last week. Those Ayamelum and the Anambra West. The issue is this: as long as we have that aspect, I don't know. I think Carol could actually help me to those Aziz, Orum, Banasa, Aziz, when they even speak and all that. The governor was actually the first governor that actually got into that axis, that part of the state, very deep area. Those I'm sure some people in Anambra State have not gone there. I have gone there. I've been there twice, because immediately the governor left there. What do we do? We went there and I think a RA, so I can't remember the same. We were able to establish a health center there for them, primary health care center, built and equipped, and also recruit healthcare workers from that axis to be there. And I don't think we're segregating about anybody that is Anambra State, the way we are, whether you are from Anambra or not Anambra, you are actually benefiting from what is available for everybody, the services we give to the people of Anambra State. So nobody is abandoned in the state at all, and it's not in our nature, rather in the mantra of our party, which is Onyahana one year. We actually take care of everybody in the state. So we have actually started taking care of those people in that area, including constructing an access road for them to be able to have access to the town to come and do one or two business, or even transport the agricultural produce to come to the area that can be able to sell it. So that notion, I think, obviously doesn't exist. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much for your response to the question I asked you. Now we are coming to another election cycle. So now the governor is in Abga, and then you have Sir Nicholas Okachukwu, and you have the rest of them in AP, Labour Party and PDP. Are you scared? Is there anything? Is the governor worried about the individuals who's going to challenge him? Is there anything that said, okay, are you guys confident enough that you're going to win this election?
Thank you so much. I want you to do a practical thing. If you Google your phone, chat GPT, I ask what's the percentage they look at of voting in Anambra State. Minimum we are going to win the next election is 80% of the citizens of Anambra State. I'm telling you this comfortably. Not because of we are talking, because of the work Professor Charles Soludo have done for the people of Anambra State. Everybody in Anambra State is so excited to ensure that Governor Soludo continues to govern them in the next 4 years. And the issue is that the governor has touched every sector you can think about in the state, and the people are happy. So if it's not broken, why trying to amend it? So totally, we are preparing, but I can assure you that minimum votes people in Anambra State to cast for this governor is 80% of the minimum of the people of the state. So we are targeting to have 326 success, 326 wards in Anambra State. For at a time, we even thinking we want to get almost 5,000 something of polling units to have in the state for the Africa, because people have seen what the governor has done. Is the governor that have improved education? Is governor that have given them free education. These people that are this year January, people from other states were going back. Parents were anxious. How are they going to put their children back to school? But in Anambra State, the parents that are residing here, you see them happy, normal, because they are not scared about their children going back to the primary or secondary school. Because pays is free, is totally free for the people that stay in the. In fact, as a free, we ensure that we improve the quality of education we have in Anambra State by recruiting 8,115 teachers, quality teachers, via open, competitive, and transparent processes. Not only that, anyway, we are doing smart school now. Each of the local governments in Anambra State, we are building 21 smart school in the state. This will increase to ensure that we improve the quality of education our people we're having. That's the foundation from our African Taiwan Dubai we're looking at. Is it an aspect of health? I want to actually tell you something because I didn't want to speak more about this health because I'm a health commissioner. So I've been trying to dodge talking about it so that I won't bore us with a lot of things we're doing in healthcare. But the one thing I want to tell you about this health sector, because in Anambra State, what governor always tell you that how will this program you are designing to affect a woman in Olumba Nasa, in the hard to reach area? How will it impact to that woman that don't have access to this thing? Know what we've done in Anambra State? Delivery, it is free in Anambra State. As of February, we have 102,643 people who have not added the March data. Delivery, free delivery and antenatal with medications free. And we have had almost 350 cesarean sessions without any single payment to those women. We had people coming from Lagos, Abuja to come and do cesarean session here. Because what is it? This them that their children will not pay school fees, their children is going to school without they're going to the hospital to deliver. The husband doesn't need to worry about the multiple hundreds of thousands. Just last week concluded, we did almost 100 and something hydrocelectomy to people that have been carrying this hydrocelectomy. That's what we call EB in Igbo language for almost 10, 15, 20 years. We did almost 100 of them at no cost to them because we are government of Onyaha and 1 year. So people obviously cannot allow this once they got a government that is truly for them, government that is truly caring for them. How we shock you? Actually, do you know? When we came on board, we said, okay, we don't want to do something because of doing that. We want to ensure that what we are doing worth it. We went to Okpoko. Okpoko is one of the with a population of over half a million. Yes, the highest urban slump you can think about. Do you know when we went to Okpoko the first time? There is no water, no school, no healthcare facilities there in Okpoko. We started. We built a general hospital for them there, which the Minister of Health came to commission because this thing surrounding it was so amazing that the Minister of Health have to come himself to come and commission it. We even had the water, pipe-on water everywhere in Okpoko there. Schools, refurbish their schools and all that. This is people who want to tell them there is opposition. Obviously, there is no opposition. Then we're even talking about even Onitsha South. If you know Onitsha, some people that are from Anambra State here. Onitsha South, some of you here. Do you know Onitsha South, as big as it is, there is no health general secondary facility in Onitsha South. Because when we review our data, you see Onitsha South with all these things, very poor data. But we have today, as I'm talking to you now, we have actually built a specialist hospital in Onitsha South. It is a local government without a general hospital. We have built a specialist hospital, completed, standardized. As I'm talking to you now, in Ayamel, one of the local governments in Anambra North, that is in the village there. So many people, as their parents are getting old, they're scared because there's no facilities they could actually go. Now we have been succeeding to give them a general hospital there in Ayamel local government, precisely general hospital. Is it the one we're talking about? Anambra West, very far place. That is close to this Kogi area we're talking about. There is a great side, a distance almost 3 hours from the town here. We have gone there to build them a general and the community. And these are community that they have never seen a tarred road at all. Some of them, when we consulted road, the elderly people will come and touch the road and touch in their body and say, so they are alive to see road coming to their community. These things are something, in fact, is the area of primary health care. We came on board, we started refurbishing and rehabilitation our primary health care center. Yes, government parts have done their best, but we are pushing on this. We putting them in terms of water, solar system, and the infrastructural upgrade. No, it's not even by surprise that we even recruited 1,000 healthcare workers. It's not even a surprise by last year, December, I'm sure you are aware, that Professor Charles Soludo was declared the best in healthcare system in Nigeria, done by the Bill and Melinda Gates, UNICEF, World Health Organization, and other partners, international partners. This got us $1.2 million US. Yes, it's on record. You can browse it and see it there. Anambra's the best in healthcare leadership challenge. Last year, December, Professor Soludo won that award. So this is the area of the youth, the area of economic empowerment we are doing via agriculture. This can Professor Echedonikan was actually trying to say that we have distributed millions of coconut and palm trees, that each of the households that have gotten this in between 4 to 5 years will be permanently out of poverty. These are the things we have done. And these programs we are doing are actually a way of reducing poverty and even returning money in the pocket of these our parents. The area of road infrastructure, I don't want to dwell more on that, because we have done a lot of, is it the new government house we are building? In fact, even the trauma center we are doing in Anambra State. Is it our health? So there is no, the person that want to come and contest with Prof. Chukwuma Soludo, where would the person start from? Because in all sector, definitely the people of Anambra State are scoring him A1, A1, A1. And obviously, there's no, you won't prevent people to come and say they want to eat their money. Yes, you can prevent, but obviously, you browse it. 80% we are winning, at least minimum of 80%. This already in the internet. Thank you so much. We'll respond as we time goes, so that
All right. Thank you very much. We should be rounding up soon because it's actually 14 minutes past 10. So we're trying to clock back the 20 minutes that we lost. Now you're very confident that Governor Chukwuma Soludo will win the election, and you've mentioned about the infrastructure, you talked about the healthcare and everything. But there is one fundamental problem here. If I go by to start reading them out, we're not going to live here. It's about this insecurity. And a lot of people are still coming on the DM. They're talking about this Osumogu and Ihiala. That most of the things that you're saying that they're not actually factual, because some of them I cannot verify it, but what they're saying is they are from these particular areas, they're from these villages, they're from this area, that things are not as it seems, what you're saying. Yes, you're doing the best you can, but there's enough, and you need to do more. What are you, what promise are you giving to the people of Osumogu, the people of Ihiala and Lilu and the rest of those areas? I mean, in general, what promise are you making to them and saying to them, listen, if you guys are to support us again or moving forward from tomorrow, you will see, something different. What promise are you going to give to these people?
Yeah, thank you so much. I will actually say that the issue of insecurity in those areas, at least people can attest to the fact that where seems not to be going before, it is being, people are going there now. People can attest the fact that tremendous success have been made on those. So my Osumogu and the others, things are improving, and it will continue to improve. That's the only thing I'm assuring you. And there's no other human being among those people contesting that can do it better than Charles Chukwuma Soludo. So Soludo is somebody that thinks things through, very, very true. And I'm sure that we'll continue to make progress in those areas. And obviously, we are actually doing that. So it's actually very this thing that those things are not where this, but in terms of insecurity, things of security are not where all you speak in the public forum like this. But just know that we are in charge and things are happening. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So I know
Can I come in here briefly? please,
Okay,
mindset.
please go ahead, sir.
But on the insecurity issue, I think it's important to be upfront with people, in my view, on this particular matter. The last frontiers of serious insecurity problem in Anambra State are in Ihiala, local government area. And within Ihiala local government area, the most challenging are Lilu, Osumou in particular, those two. Now, anyone from Ihiala will know of Ebonesi Ihiala, Azia, Mbosi, Ihiala, Iseke, the rest of them. Now, Osumou and Lilu are on the boundary with Imo State, with Osihitukwa and Awidemili. Okay? You cannot, so ultimately, and there are many things about this I cannot say here, but ultimately, to fix the problem in Lilu, and anyone who knows Lilu will know that Lilu is very undulating. Osumogu is on top of the hill from Lilu, and then you have Osuitukwa in Imo State and Awidemili in Imo State. Now, there is a market at the border of Osumogu, Lilu, and Osuitukwa. It's called the Kotutu. The biggest index of reopening of those communities will be if and when a Kotutu gets back to life. And at this moment, that has not happened. Is that getting some attention? Yes. But to finally fix that, you need a partner in Douglas House in Owerri. You need a governor of Imo State who is engaged and responsible. I will not say more than that at this particular time, at this particular platform. But having said that, I will also say that 3 years ago, there were parts of Ihiala local government area that you could not get to, which I did a funeral in Iseke over in the last 3 months. That I could not have said last year. Now, I will tell you this, just to measure progress, because we've been talking about measurement of progress. When Governor Mbadinuju died, the first civilian governor of the post-1999 administration, the plan was actually to go back to his village, which is Uli, dump his body at night into a hole, and then go back to Oka. The commissioner may have been privy to these arrangements. To go back to Oka and do a funeral mass for him, and that would have been that. But the fact that Governor Mbadinuju's funeral took place in his village in Uli will tell you that there has been progress. It would not, and it didn't require carrying a battalion of soldiers or moving the battalion from Onisha to Uli. The fact solely that it was possible to do the funeral of Governor Mbadinuju in Uli and bury him in Uli daytime, and people attended massively, will tell you that there has been progress. About that, I think we should also acknowledge. Has it reached the frontiers of Osumogu and Lilu? Certainly not at the level that should tell you that everything has been sorted, because that would not be factually accurate.
All right, thank you very much, Prof, for your response to the question. I mean, it's left for the good people of Anambra State to decide if they want Dr. Chukwuma Soludo to continue, or if they think that, okay, we've given him 4 years and we are not comfortable, we are not satisfied, we want to try someone else. That is a call for the good people of Anambra State. But I must say, I must thank the commissioner who made it possible, who made himself available to be part of this conversation, and to Prof. Chidi Odinkanu and every other speaker. My co-hosts who have helped me to bring a lot of people up. You guys have been amazing. I believe that the APC contestant, the gubernatorial candidate for the APC, Nicholas Okachukwu, we might be having him soon on this platform, because he wants to speak to the good people of Anambra and tell them why he is the right person to replace Dr. Chukuma Soludo. Commissioner, your last, sorry, before I pass the mic back to you, Hillary, you raised your hand, sir. We are rounding up quickly. Do you have any more questions?
Yes, I do. Sorry. Thank you. Yes, I do have one more question. There was something the commissioner said while he was talking. He said, which was a bit worrying to me. He said, when the people reported an abuse from the vigilante guys, that they went to ask question and they confirmed that the abuse didn't happen. And I wanted to ask him, was there an equal representation in such an equal investigation? Because I kind of felt like maybe there might have been an power imbalance to have decided that maybe the abuses wasn't true. And I wanted to ask him a second question, like, has there been any amount of people from the vigilante group that has been penalized um, for behaving outside the regulation that the state has laid down for them? And the last thing I want to say to him is, please, can you give us a performance dashboard where we can track all the projects and all the allocation project that the governor Soludo has done, so that, if you can give us a performance dashboard, pre to this election, I think it will do you a lot of good, where you can sum up a lot of things that he's done. But please do answer me. Has there been occasions where people who behave unruly has been penalized, these vigilante people, for what they've done? Have people been, sort of that? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Hilary. The last one, start from the last. We have Solution Lens. We have developed open governance initiative. Anambra State Open Governance will last 3 days. So on Tuesday, we'll launch what we call Solution Lens, where we presented to some of the NGOs on the platform you can use to track the activities we are doing in terms of where they are located, in terms of the amount that is used to do the project, and in terms of the completion rate of the project. So I'm going to actually get the link to you, and we share it through the SSA or media to the governor, so everybody here could actually have it. I'll do that. So that's Solution Lens. We are running an open government and all that. That's why even our procurement is in the internet. You can build there outside the country and bid for that. And if you are the one that will give us an open competitive, you come and do that. Very open and transparent government we are doing. That's the truth of the matter. Then you spoke about penalize. Yes, definitely. There is, as I said, and that's the word I learned from the Mr. Governor, assignment given unsupervised is as good as not given. That being said, even in medical profession, we have a lot of, I didn't talk about even the medical profession, a lot of hospitals who have actually closed down works, who have actually jailed 3 years minimum term. So in terms of the security, there's definitely some vigilantes that have not played by because those people we are actually screened and before recruit. So if they are going outside their job description or their job narrative, definitely, some of them are definitely being penalized by that. That's the truth of the matter. Then in terms of I said not the video you saw may be different from the one I saw, because every time people I'm sure by the time you get to understand as a public servant, people always send this, which is very good, because is a way of holding public servant or people accountable. So, but when they send those things, you must actually have to investigate thoroughly, and there is processes to those things. And being in government, you should also know that the normal due processes are always followed in this administration, and that's always being followed. And whoever is found want to definitely decisively be dealt with. So, the incident you narrate may be different from the one, so it may not be one of the incidences. So, just I hope I've been able to answer this thing. I'm going to send the SSL on media to send the link on Solution Lens, so that you can actually see what we are doing in your locality and all that, and what is even the next step of what we are going to do. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. So
I hope I've been able to answer your issues.
Thank you. I think you've responded so quickly. As we round up, I must thank you and all the speakers who have joined and all the listeners. But there's something I wanted to confirm from you. You mentioned a number that if there's a problem, somebody needs to call this number 5341. Am I right, sir?
111.
So
5111. We're advertising the number. It's a toll-free line. You can call it now. I will be happy if anybody here can call the number and confirm that they really listen to it, because we need this feedback. What we are doing is for the people of the state. The number is also used for our Anambra State Emergency Medical Service and Ambulance System. We have a 112 and 5111. Well, so when you have like emergency ambulance services, you could actually call this number. If the issue of kidnapping, you can actually call this number. Issue of this report on unruly behavior of these people, please, if you actually call this number. We are running an open government. The government is our own. We need to start doing things, and that's what we are trying to encourage to do in the state. So that's the number 5311.
oh,
Thank you. And 112.
okay. So let me get it. 5311 is the most important one. So if there's any problem, one should call that number, right? Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner. And please, we are running late, as we started a little bit late. Prof. Chidodin, can your final thoughts as we round up, sir?
I don't know whether I have any other thing to say. I just want to say thank you very much. As I said, the insecurity thing affects all of us in the Southeast, and my view, my reason for getting involved is, if we don't fix it, we can't fix the region. It's really that simple. And for those, again, because I do a lot of advocacy work on access to information, Anambra State is signed up to the OGP, the Open Government Partnership. So if you want to track expenditure and budgeting, to be fair to Anambra State, it's got it's one of the highest ranking. It's in the top 3 in terms of openness of access to information on its budgeting system. You can verify that on the OGP platform, and anyone who needs the information should please get in touch. I'm happy to share that information. It's not Anambra State controlled, so it's very easy for you to verify that part of the information. And just to say that, we've got to return government in Nigeria to a place where we can hopefully have this kind of conversation about every state in Nigeria. What have you done? And have people come to us and say, these are the number of roads we've built. These are the number of health centers we've built. This is where they are. Yes, and then people are telling you, you've not done as much as you should. Until we're able to do this, we cannot go where we have a democracy. So I personally want to thank the commissioner. He knows we have not sat down together. I don't know him, and we haven't met one-on-one. But I'm glad that you're here answering questions, and I hope that these conversations can continue, because if our states work, life becomes better, and we can't all be looking to the federal government to do for us the things that our state government should be doing for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Dr. Alfamo BDK, your final thoughts as we round up.
Yeah, thank you so much. First, I want to thank Prof. Chidodin. You have been mentoring us from the distance. A man of integrity and full of wisdom. So we have been so thank you so much, sir. What I'm trying to say, Anambra and people that live in the state, is this. I'm happy, Prof, also comparing our OGP, Open Government Partnership, and this thing, and what we have been doing. Very open governance we're running in Anambra State. We have won award in the Transparent Governance last year or so, and the award, and with some cash to that. Just to tell us that nobody is actually qualified better to continue to pilot the affairs of the state. I didn't mention, in fact, I didn't mention even more than, I didn't mention up to 10% of what the governor has been doing in the state. But the most important thing I want to say is this. Governor is doing this thing without borrowing 1 naira. Kobo, he has not borrowed. It is on record. The only governor in Nigeria that was approved to borrow 100 billion naira by the House of Assembly, and he refused to borrow it. Despite that, he's also repaying loan borrowed by previous governments, and he's still working. So this is a rare opportunity we have for him serving the people of the state, and I'm certain we all do our best to ensure that come November 8th, the government will be able to elect Professor Soludo, CFR, to continue the good work he is doing for the people of Anambra State. And I'm certain that more than 80% of Anambra State will answer that call and re-elect him Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you very, very much for honoring our invitation to be here. Prof spoke about other states and everything. If you want us to discuss your state, please do get in touch. The email address is there. You can reach out to myself if you have access to my DM. And hopefully we would have the governor of Anambra State before the election, hopefully, to come on Spaces. And tonight we have the commissioner speaking on his behalf, but we are hoping that the governor will come on the Spaces. I mean, and then the good people of Anambra will interact with him, and we'll see where we go. But we wish him well, we wish him luck, and we hopefully things work out the way you guys are planning. And a big thank you to my co-host, Captain Jamel, for helping out tonight. On that note, I wish you guys well, and I'll see you some other time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless you. Thank you.